Hey there, kitchen warriors! Let's be real for a second. How many times have you found yourself craving a real, juicy, char-grilled burger or a sizzling steak, only to remember you live in an apartment where outdoor grills are a no-go, or it's raining, or you just don't feel like dealing with the smoke, the mess, and that heavy old gas grill out back? Maybe your current electric setup doesn't get hot enough to really sear meat, or it leaves you with more smoke than flavor and a kitchen that smells like burnt onions for the rest of the day. Well, if that's even a little familiar, then today's product might just be what your countertop's been waiting for, because we're diving into the Sizzle GR101, a 14-inch smokeless indoor grill and flat-top griddle combo that's making a serious case for becoming your everyday kitchen essential. And get this, it heats up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, runs on 1,450 watts of power, takes up just about 15 inches wide by 6 inches tall on your counter, and comes with 2 interchangeable nonstick cooking plates, one for classic grill marks and another for breakfast-ready griddling, all in a sleek gray and silver finish with a modern look that fits right into almost any kitchen style. Now, this isn't just a reheated idea of an indoor grill. Ninja's going for real performance here with edge-to-edge cooking that promises no hot spots, no cold spots, just consistent, even heat across the entire surface, whether you're flipping pancakes, searing salmon, or getting those fajita veggies nice and charred. And with the included perforated mesh lid and high sidewalls, they've managed to keep things low smoke and low splatter so your cooking stays clean and your kitchen stays comfortable. Plus, cleanups made simple thanks to a dishwasher-safe lid, slick non-stick plates, and built-in grease management that actually works. And all that right now is priced around $149, making this a real contender for Best Value Indoor Grill of 2025. And there's a link down below if you want to check out the latest deal or see what the current price is doing. So yeah, if you're fed up with underpowered indoor grills that don't deliver, or you're just looking for something that can finally replace multiple gadgets in one smart, compact design, stay right here, because in this video we're going to look at what the Sizzle gets right, where it still has some design flaws, and if it's really worth the space on your countertop. And coming up next, we're starting with the design and build quality, including why that ultra-low profile and plate swapping system could be the biggest game changer in your daily cooking routine. The first thing you'll notice when you unbox the Sizzle is just how compact and intentionally low profile this unit is. At just over 14 inches deep, 15 inches wide, and standing about 6 inches tall, it's clearly designed with space saving in mind, which is a huge plus if your kitchen is tight or your counter space is already battling a blender, toaster, and coffee maker for attention. But don't let the small footprint fool you. This grill has a solid, balanced feel to it, weighing just under 8 pounds, and that modern silver and gray finish, with clean lines and subtle branding, gives it a premium look that feels right at home in both sleek, minimalist kitchens and more traditional setups. Now, let's talk materials. It's built from a mix of durable plastic and metal, which keeps it lightweight without feeling flimsy. And both the grill and griddle plates are non-stick and high-walled, which not only helps with containment and safety, but also adds to its durability and ease of cleaning. What's really interesting is the lid. It's not your typical clunky top. Instead, Ninja went with a perforated mesh lid that's fully detachable and dishwasher safe, specifically designed to cut down on smoke and splatter without sealing everything in like an oven. This vented approach actually gives you flexibility while cooking. You can leave the lid up if you want direct access to the heat for a nice sear or that final flip, or drop it down to trap heat and help melt cheese or warm through thicker cuts evenly. But the biggest design win, and what really sets the GR101 apart, is the interchangeable cooking surface system. You're not locked into just grilling or just griddling. Instead, with a quick swap, you go from a grill plate that gives you those satisfying crosshatch marks on steaks or burgers to a flat-top griddle that's ideal for breakfast items like eggs, bacon, or pancakes, or even lunch dishes like quesadillas or smashed grilled cheese. The fit is snug, the swap out is smooth, and you're not fiddling with tiny clips or loose pieces that feel like they'll break after 3 uses. This is Ninja design at its best: practical, smart, and made for daily use. The heating elements themselves are built directly beneath the plates, and according to user feedback, this design choice delivers impressively even edge-to-edge cooking, with no cold zones around the edges or overheated center spots. That's something a lot of competitors, even bigger names, still haven't solved properly. And there's a front-mounted grease catch system integrated into the plate's edge, directing excess fat and drippings away from your food and into a removable trough that's easy to pour out and wash. Now, let's talk about the control panel, or rather, the simplicity of it. You get a manual dial that lets you crank the heat up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, but that's it. No digital display, no pre-programmed settings, no multi-step user interface. For some, that's going to be a breath of fresh air. Just turn the dial and go. But here's a fair critique, and a point where Ninja dropped the ball. There's no indicator light that tells you when the grill or griddle has actually reached temperature. The power light stays on the whole time, but unlike models like the Hamilton Beach Searing Grill, there's no preheat ready notification, which can be a little frustrating if you're trying to time things precisely. Most folks end up letting it heat for 7 minutes and assuming it's good to go, which works, but still feels like a missed opportunity for better feedback. Aesthetically though, the GR101 nails it. The sleek matte finish doesn't show fingerprints easily, and the neutral tones blend well in most kitchen styles. It doesn't scream gadget, which for many people, especially those trying to keep a clean and adult-looking cooking space, is a big plus. It also stores vertically or horizontally depending on your space, and because the plates and lid are fully removable, it's not a hassle to pack it away between uses. So from a design and construction standpoint, what you're getting here is a tight, well-thought-out package that blends form and function, nails the essentials like non-stick quality and plate versatility, and only misses slightly with that absent temperature-ready light. But overall, for the price and the category, it feels like a product built to last. And more importantly, one designed to be used every day, not just on weekends or special occasions. Coming up next, we'll get into how it actually performs in the real world, cooking burgers, pancakes, salmon, veggies, and where it shines or struggles when the heat is on. So, let's say it's a Saturday morning and you're craving pancakes with crispy bacon on the side, maybe even a couple of eggs sunny side up. You drop in the flat-top griddle plate, turn the dial, give it a few minutes to preheat, no indicator light, so you're counting to 7 in your head, and then you're off. One of the standout features right away is how evenly the surface heats. Unlike cheaper electric griddles where the edges are basically useless real estate, this one uses its edge-to-edge heating system to make the entire 14-inch surface usable, so you can actually get multiple pancakes and bacon strips going at once without babysitting one side while the other lags behind. Users consistently point out how effective this is. Even thick foods like marinated chicken breasts or salmon fillets cook evenly across the board. And here's what sets it apart. This thing gets hot. That 500-degree max temperature isn't just for show. It makes a noticeable difference when you're searing steaks or burgers. You get that beautiful Maillard reaction, the browning and caramelization that gives grilled meat its deep, savory flavor, and actual grill marks that wouldn't look out of place on a backyard barbecue. One verified buyer even said it produced steak with the same char quality as their summer outdoor grill. And for an indoor unit, that's a huge compliment. And while the manual temperature dial is basic, the heat response is fast and consistent. You're not sitting there waiting for the grill to bounce back every time you flip something. That's critical when doing a batch of burgers or searing multiple protein portions in sequence. If you've used lower-end units that cool off the moment you put food on them, this is a refreshing change. The interchangeable plate system isn't just a novelty, it's a real functional advantage. You can make a breakfast spread in the morning, switch over to grilling burgers or quesadillas at lunch, and do salmon or veggies for dinner, all without breaking out a separate appliance or creating a sink full of pots and pans. One user grilled marinated chicken breasts with no smoke, easy cleanup, and no lingering smell. Something indoor grill users will know is rare. That's thanks to the perforated mesh lid, which works surprisingly well at controlling both smoke and splatter while still allowing for good airflow. If you cook with the hood down, it helps trap heat to finish a melt or get through thicker cuts faster. If you leave it up, you've got full control like a classic open-top grill. And it's not just meat. One user mentioned how this unit handles delicate foods like eggs or fish thanks to the griddle's smooth, non-stick surface. It cooks hot, so there's a learning curve. One review wisely pointed out that the cooking surface tends to run hotter than expected, so lowering your usual temps or keeping a close eye at first is a good idea. But once you get the feel for it, it's surprisingly versatile. You could throw down some asparagus with a little oil and not worry about it draining away like it would on a traditional open grill. The closed surface gives you more control with moist ingredients. Speaking of control, here's a detail worth noting. Grease management is handled pretty well, though not perfectly. Instead of an open grate that drains into a big basin, this unit channels grease toward the front into a catch tray. Some users love this. It keeps the countertop clean and the food more moist. Others, particularly those used to Hamilton Beach's open design, say it doesn't drain as thoroughly. One reviewer even said they preferred the drain style of their previous grill for things like burgers, where you really want that fat out of the way. But for foods like salmon, chicken, or veggies, the Ninja's design arguably works better because it keeps the flavor and moisture closer to the food. And that brings us to another feature that doesn't get enough love: the quick plate swap and compact build. Being able to cook multiple styles of meals throughout the day without needing separate appliances, and being able to store the entire unit easily in a cabinet or on a small shelf makes this especially appealing for apartment living or smaller households. As one reviewer put it, it's small but mighty, and that's really the story here. You're getting a lot of cooking versatility in a small, well-thought-out package, but not everything's perfect. Again, the lack of a temperature indicator light is something that bugs experienced users. For someone who's coming from a more advanced electric grill with digital presets, or at least a basic preheat indicator, this can feel like a step backward. One reviewer said that's how they noticed their old grill had broken. The light stopped turning off, so not having one on this model is a noticeable absence, especially for precise cooking. And then there's space. While it's advertised as family-sized and can fit up to 6 burgers or a decent batch of pancakes, a few users felt it was just slightly more cramped than they expected. If you're cooking for a crowd, you might need to do a couple of rounds, which isn't a deal breaker, but worth knowing. That said, for most daily use cases, breakfast for 2, dinner for 4, a few steaks on a weeknight, this grill and griddle combo hits the mark, and it does so with surprisingly consistent performance. Alright, so the Ninja Sizzle GR101 checks a lot of boxes when it comes to cooking power and versatility, but if an appliance is a pain to clean or annoying to operate, it's going to gather dust, no matter how good the food turns out. So, how does it hold up day to day? Let's start with usability. The control system is extremely simple, maybe a little too simple for some. You've got a single dial that cranks up the heat from off to high with no numeric temperature display or smart presets. For someone who just wants to plug in, preheat, and cook, that's perfect. But if you're coming from something like a digital air fryer or a multi-cooker with programs, this might feel almost too analog. That said, a lot of users actually appreciate the lack of bells and whistles. You turn the dial, wait the recommended 7 minutes, and get to work. No extra steps, no confusing buttons, no smart features that you'll never use. One downside here, and it's been mentioned in more than a few reviews, is the lack of a temperature-ready indicator. There's a power light to show the grill is on, but it doesn't turn off or change when your plate hits the right temp. You just have to trust the timing or do a little test sizzle with a drop of water or a piece of food. That's not a deal breaker, but it's definitely a feature that feels like it should have been included, especially at this price point. Now, let's talk cleaning. And this is where the Ninja Sizzle really shines. Both the grill and griddle plates are non-stick, and they're designed with smooth surfaces and slightly raised edges that help contain grease and splatter. This makes it super easy to wipe down by hand after cooking. Several users noted that even after cooking greasy items like burgers or bacon, a quick wipe with a soapy sponge was enough to clean the plates without scrubbing. The coating holds up well too. It's not the kind of non-stick that flakes off after a month. And if you're not into hand washing, the removable mesh lid is fully dishwasher safe. And while Ninja doesn't recommend dishwashing the cooking plates to preserve the non-stick layer, a few reviewers admitted to doing it occasionally with no major issues. The important thing is, nothing feels like a chore to clean. Even the grease catch, located at the front of the plate, is easy to remove and rinse out. It's not oversized, but it's effective at collecting runoff during cooking without making a mess or leaking. Another strong usability point is how contained everything is during cooking. The high sidewalls on both plates and the vented lid help trap splatter and keep oil or juice from flying out onto your counters. One reviewer even said the base stayed pretty unscathed, even after multiple uses. And that's not common with countertop grills. It's also fairly quiet during operation, which might not sound like a big deal. But if you've used older electric grills that hum or buzz loudly, you'll appreciate how quietly the Sizzle gets the job done. In terms of maintenance, it's about as low fuss as you can get. There's no water tray to empty like with some smokeless grills, no filters to replace, and no complex disassembly required for cleaning. Just pop off the plate, remove the lid, wipe down the base, and you're done. And thanks to the compact size and lightweight build, storage is simple. It can be stored horizontally in a drawer or vertically in a cabinet, which makes it ideal for smaller kitchens or anyone trying to keep their countertop clutter-free. That said, if you're the type who wants your grill to look pristine forever, you'll need to stay on top of the vent holes in the lid, which can collect buildup over time. They're not difficult to clean, but they do require a little attention after heavy use, especially if you're cooking foods that splatter a lot or are high in fat. One small note, some users mentioned the cooking area is enough for about 4 to 6 burgers, which is great for couples or small families, but could feel limited if you're feeding a big group. You can definitely batch cook, but just keep in mind it's not built for party-sized portions in one go. All in all, the Ninja Sizzle makes everyday cooking easier, not harder. It's fast to heat, easy to clean, and doesn't require a learning curve to operate. As long as you're okay with the manual dial and lack of temp feedback, it's a breeze to live with, and that's a big part of why people love using it regularly. So, what's the final word on the Ninja Sizzle GR101? Honestly, this little powerhouse delivers far more than you'd expect from something that barely takes up more counter space than a cutting board. With its high heat capability, dual cooking surfaces, and impressively even heating, it's not just a backup plan for when the weather turns bad. It's a legitimate, everyday cooking tool that can handle breakfast, lunch, and dinner without missing a beat. The design is smart, the build is compact but solid, and the versatility is hard to beat. One minute you're searing burgers with real grill marks, the next you're flipping pancakes or pressing down quesadillas on the griddle, and when it's time to clean up, everything comes apart easily and wipes down in minutes. It's not perfect. We wish it had a temperature indicator light and slightly more grill space for bigger meals, but for the price and performance, those feel like minor trade-offs. This isn't just another kitchen gadget. It's a legit assistant that lets you cook more, stress less, and keep the mess and smoke to a minimum. If you value performance, flexibility, and ease of use, the Ninja Sizzle GR101 is a hard one to beat in its class. If you're ready to bring real grilling indoors, without the smoke, without the clutter, and without overcomplicating things, check out the link below to see the latest deal. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment letting us know your favorite kitchen hack or what you'd love to cook on this grill first. Is it steak, pancakes, salmon, or something totally unexpected? This is Review Kitchens, and I'll see you in the next one, where your countertop does a whole lot more than just hold your coffee maker.